Okay, hello. Yeah, back this week. Last week and for the past couple weeks, I've been working on doing some level design and just getting the functionality for the demo content built up through this endpoint here. So yeah, I think this door right here, this is kind of where the demo ends. So um, this for now I'm not going to be building any content past this point. That's going to be for like the next version of the demo after I get this one out. So as far as building the enemy encounters and stuff, I think we're pretty good on content. I am definitely going to need to tune stuff, but I'm not quite there yet. I have more stuff to do before I get there. Last week, I was mentioning needing to build a cutscene that occurs when you kind of get on this bridge, and it'll have it collapse, and you'll end up here with low health and have to kind of make your way up to the end here. That is, I still haven't done that cutscene, and as I mentioned last week, I'm not going to be doing that on the stream, I think, because I just don't think it worked very well the last time I tried to do that. So, yeah, not going to work on the cutscene today. Instead, I'm going to work on one of the major tech features that I still need, which is the basic objective system to just tell you basically what you're supposed to be doing and where you're going, because currently, you drop into the game and there's just no explanation of what you should actually be doing, so it could be very easy to get lost. So we're not going to have anything super complex right now. It basically just needs to have some objective markers to tell you where to go, and maybe a little thing in your HUD to tell you what your current objective is. I have something like that already built. So yeah, I'm going to exit here. I don't know if I've shown this on the stream at all, but there is like a space combat prototype I have in the Astral Horizon project that space combat isn't going to be coming until later. I think maybe a couple releases of the demo down the line. I do plan to have it in the demo, but just focusing on the first little bit of content for now. But anyway, in the space combat level, I did have some very basic objectives, and I think I want to try to port that into the walking combat. So that's what this mission class in objective is. The idea is that I've actually figured this out. So either there could be prefabs that define the quests or objects in the level that do it. And I think there are trade-offs doing it either way. I do have to think about how the state is going to be persisted. So if the state is stored as prefabs, then we can't necessarily, or if the objects are only prefabs and they're never instantiated, it might be a little harder to store their state. Although we could instantiate the prefab and store the state as we do for any other prefab. Right now, I don't think I'm going to worry about what the final tech design of this looks like. And one thing I will have to consider in the future is that a mission can persist through multiple levels. So if I just go in the level and create like a mission object and define all the parameters in here, then there's no way for this to persist to a different level. So that's going to be pretty limiting. However, for now, I think that might be okay, because I really just need to get this working in a very basic version so that players can see where they're going when they play the demo. So I might just go with that. That's also how I've so far used this system, I believe. It is just in the level, not even a prefab, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, we'll go with that. Anyway, let's undo that. I am gonna create just like a missions folder and just have this in the main level scene. And we're just gonna do a single mission. Because the mission can, of course, have multiple objectives, and the objectives will tell you where to go. So, I'm just going to call this mission 1. The title is Capture the Italic Citadel of Aleppo. Is that how you spell it? Need to remember how to spell my own ship name. I think I have it. Yeah, that looks right. All right, so here's our mission, and we just need to start adding objectives to that. Your first objective, actually let's go into the first region. First objective is going to cover 3 regions, I think, because it's going to be to, I guess first objective can just be to, like, reach the security checkpoint. So that's going to be, like, move through here, go up through here, then go through here. And once you get in here, then I guess it'll be in this room, so. Let's add an objective in here. So I'll give this a title too. So currently I have objective attack. I think this is different, and then objective move to. This is going to be a move to, but I don't think that this is quite right. Yeah, so currently the objectives are set up to just have direct object references to the objective. Like in this case, if you're moving to a target, it just has a reference to that. This only works if you have a single scene that has all your objects in it, as well as your missions. Because, of course, when you have a mission object in a different scene from the objectives of the mission, you can't just assign the direct references. So that's not going to work. And I'm okay with just completely changing this and ignoring and letting... We're figuring out the stuff in my space combat prototype later, because it's going to have to be changed eventually anyway. So I think our options here, I think we want to use a unique name, because that is kind of my standard way of referencing objects across scenes. So we'll go with private unique named. I think we want unique name list entry. Target name. Now, what kind of object we want to reference? We could reference a trackable object, it looks like. Okay, so objective is supposed to have a list of trackable objects for its targets, although this is not actually used. So I'm going to actually just delete that because I don't like having to do that. Alright, so now we don't have to, we just have to have an update that will return whether it has succeeded. Alright, that is easy enough to do. Well, I really made this system basic. I'm going to have to redesign this from the ground up, I think, when I get to the... I don't know if I'll do it for the next demo version or the one after. But for one of those, this is this objective system is going to be way too limiting. But for now, I think it is fine. Alright, we don't need that. Now I need to... What is reset objectives? Alright, I'm a little confused. So, what does reset objective do? What is it supposed to do? When you change the status to in progress, okay, so this basically activates when the objective starts. Alright, so I need to consider the possibility that when this objective starts, the scene in which the target object lives may not be loaded yet. And that is actually going to be the case for this first move objective. So we can't just, when we start the objective, find the object, because it won't be loaded yet. That also means that I won't have any way to know where the object is going to be, because this is not loaded yet, of course. So what I need to do is probably add a locate or destination. Destination position. So it knows where to show the objective marker. Now I could just get rid of this. I could just have this only work with position, and I think actually that might be okay for now, so I don't have to worry about registering for trigger events or finding a target object. actually, instead of doing that, I'm going to do transform. I can just have a transform that's a child of this objective object and place it where I want it to go. Alright, so I don't think reset objective needs to do anything. So all we need to do is check if this distance is less than acceptance radius and move it to succeeded. Okay. What is player in this case? Where does player come from? Just find game object with tag. I guess that works. That is not super ideal, but I think we can just leave that as is for now. Okay. So objective attack. Let's not worry about this yet. Let's just create the first move to objective. Alright, for icon, do we have like a move icon? These sprites are loaded. Okay, I'll just use that for now. I think they're, these are. Sprites aren't loading. Alright, ignore that for now. Let's create the destination transform. We want that to be in here approximately. Let's put y2, x0, z30. That looks good. Then for the acceptance radius, we want it to go to like here, so that's going to be like 5. Alright, so that is our first objective. And I think that is all the mission needs to work. Again, this is currently a very basic system, which does make it easy to use. But I also need the display before I will actually see anything. So let's see, we have, I think in fighter, HUD elements, there should be an objective display script. Ah, here it is. Okay. So I think to get this set up fairly easily, what I'm going to do is go into my space battle scene and just steal it from there and paste it into the player's HUD and then make whatever tweaks I need to. So that means you get to see the space battle scene, although it will not actually run right now. No, scenes. I think it's just called space battle. Yeah, so here's our player HUD, and here is that objective display. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this guy. And paste it into the player's HUD. It will almost certainly need some tweaking. But let's see. So actually I want to grab something in the HUD. So it's going to be a child of canvas. Actually, if I just go into edit this prefab, that'll make it a little easier. Alright. Now I need to decide where this thing is going to live. Thinking maybe top left corner. Can't just go on top. So first of all, this thing does have some animations. So let's see. Okay, so that's what the animation looks like. I'm going to have to adjust that. Probably. Stop playing that. Oops. Okay, so we want this to be anchored to the top left. We'll put it at like 100, negative 50. That's too much. Negative 25. Maybe more. Something like this. 60, negative 15. Okay. Then it needs to be smaller. It's the best way to just reduce the font size here. I feel like I actually need to see this in game view, so I'm gonna open up game view here. We do have the skip cutscene button here, but I don't think that this is ever going to be showing at the same time as the skip cutscene button. So, also the screen is going to be bigger. Can't really edit it. Well, this is probably an okay size. I think that should be fairly readable when it's in full screen. Right, then the icon. Oh yeah, so this text should be centered vertically. The icon want to make this a bit smaller. And this is what plays when you finish the objective. And I just need to make this less tall. That should be good. All right, then looking at the animation for this, yeah, it's not super good. I think that's just because it is offset in the Z direction. And honestly, I don't know why that is. Because in the space battle, the UI is rendered with an orthographic camera. So moving that closer on the Z axis is not going to actually do anything. So I think I can, if I just delete the position Z animation, delete the Z keyframes, that will probably be a bit better. I might just keep it like that, so I don't have to make a new animation, at least for now. I think that looks good enough. Okay, let's, oh yeah. Okay, I want to apply basically everything on here. I think that the cross out I already applied, but then the rect for the icon I didn't apply. All right. So I think that might be all I need to test it out. Let's give it a go. All right, so far, nothing. That might be because, yeah, you know, I think I may have set it up so you just have to do a direct reference to the mission, which in this case, oh, no, that's not the case. So how does it know what the current mission is? How does it get the current objective? Oh, objective activated. Okay, so it'll just subscribe to that static event. Which is invoked when an objective status changes to in progress. then the mission should be doing that. We'll set current objective, yeah. So, seems like that should all be occurring. Let's try debugging and seeing what happens. Okay. So we get this in start. Let's step into that. Get an exception. I don't remember seeing exceptions in the console, but maybe I didn't check. Yeah, okay. I think that is because it doesn't just get its children, you have to manually drag it in there. Okay. Destination position has not been assigned. See, that's not right. Yeah. So I think that is pretty visible in full screen. I don't think we necessarily have to worry about that too much. The other basic thing we need for this to work is a location marker, because currently I have no idea where the security checkpoint is. So alright, yeah, so I need to show a location indicator in the HUD. Now, I think what I can do here, I have the trackable object system, which I already used to show off-screen and, well, not just off-screen, but show indicators for things, and I can easily use that to show an objective indicator. So what I think I can actually do is have a trackable object on here. Maybe I need a new trackable object script. I think trackable object is abstract. Does it need to be abstract? Because like it has velocity and angular velocity. Those could just return 0 by default. All this stuff could just return 0. So yeah, really trackable object does not need to be abstract. These could just be virtual. And we will return vector3.0 as the default value for all of these guys. I think there's one more. There's health, which is just going to return null by default. All right. And now I should be able to add a trackable object onto this. All right, we need to plug in some properties here. Let's go ahead and load these scenes. Then we need a new tracker prefab, I think. This is way too complicated. We'll do the simple one. Yeah, that's a good one to copy. So we'll call this one target tracker objective. Then let's browse our sprites for something that looks good. So let's see, that is going to be showing that one by default. I'm just going to change it to show a blue one, and then see this. Maybe we don't want to have it be an arrow. Maybe we just want it to be a something like this. That's fairly low quality. Oh, wait, I want it to be in seeing all sprites. And let's see all sprites that are an arrow. This maybe is a bit better. That kind of looks like an objective. We'll go with that for now. And then I'm actually going to not have any of these. Then max distance, I think I do need to set that. What is max distance? Oh, I think it's for scaling. Yeah, I don't want that. That should be 0. Alright, so we'll use that as the target tracker for objectives. And then I can apply that as the target tracker thing here. Don't need these, don't need team, radius should just be 0. We're not going to be showing that display info or any of this stuff. None of that. Alright, yeah, I think everything else can be null. So now when I play, All right, this seems pretty good. It is a little small, so I'm just going to go ahead and bump up the size there a little bit. I think that is... Oh, yeah, it's because the... No, I can just make this bigger. I'm going to be doubling that. All right. And hopefully that is better in terms of size. Then I need to disable that objective marker when I complete the objective. All right. So as a hacky way to do this, I will just say on completed, destination, trackable object, enabled false. Then on reset, we want enabled true. And I'll just have it off by default, because we're going to have more than one objective and we don't want to be showing all the objective markers. Now what I didn't check was that objective actually gets marked as completed if I go there. So let's see that. Shouldn't be marked yet. As soon as I open this. Alright. Oh yeah, okay, it did. Cool. Alright, so I think that is the basic system implemented. Of course, that's a very crappy and hacked together objective system, so please don't copy what I did there if you're looking to build a real one. I will definitely be going back in the future and making it a lot more robust. That actually could be something I even end up doing a devlog on in the future. Although I might not do that because I'm sure there are already a ton of videos on objective systems and I'm not sure there's a whole lot I could add to that topic. But yeah, anyway, at some point in the future I'll be building a better objective system. But anyway, for now, this thing will probably do just fine. So now what I need to do is start actually creating the objectives for it. So once you reach this point, your next objective is to interact with this panel. And for that, we're going to need a new type of objective, which is going to be objective interact. So I'll copy the move to. Where's refactor copy? Isn't there a refactor copy? I feel like Ryder keeps moving stuff around. Alright, anyway, we're gonna make a new script. So it's not in UI. I think there isn't. Yeah, objective. Just make objective interact. We'll make it extend objective. Implement the missing members. So text format. We can just make it interact with 0. Okay, so for this one, we are going to have to solve the issue of how to get an object with a unique name. Go ahead and support multiple interactions. And that needs to be an array in that case. Then we're going to need to store the actual objects. So this would be interactable array targets. Not reset. So when we reset, we're going to say targets equals new interactable array target names dot length. And the first thing we can do is loop through all the target names and say if not unique named object dot target object target names out game object. So if that object doesn't exist, then we want to do something to get it later, and we're going to continue. If the object doesn't have an interactable component, then we want to continue. And then we just want to say targets equals interactable. Alright, so this case I think is fine. This shouldn't, I'm actually going to put a log statement here. Objective found target with name with no interactable component. So this is just a real error, and I don't have to do anything more here because ideally this should never occur. However, this I need to expect it to occur because the level that contains the objective might not yet be loaded. So what I could probably do is, let's see, in unique named object, don't think I have it yet, but I think I want to create an event for when a new unique named object initializes. Alright, so yeah, I think I am just going to create a new public static event action unique named object initialized, and then another one for when an object is removed. And just to make it symmetrical, I'll call this added. Then this is in the core library, so what I'm doing here will actually become available publicly at some point. It might be a little while because I have a lot of updates in the core library that I want to push publicly, but I'm just holding off on that until I can get this demo out because I really just want to prioritize the demo. And none of these are urgent bug fixes or anything. They're just new features. I will still, of course, release bug fixes for my libraries when needed. So, invoked when a new unique named object is to the dictionary, and inval is removed from the dictionary. Alright, so then on enable, I'm going to say unique, or this is just object added dot invoke this. In here, we will say object removed dot invoke this. All right, that should be all we need to do to make sure that thing is called. Now we can use that in Objective Interact. So let's see. Let's make a listening property. Then we need a callback in here, so it's a private void. This will be unique named object added. And we also need one for removed. Then for enabling it here, I would say unique named object dot object added plus equals unique named object dot object removed plus equals that, else we need to unsubscribe. So when we let's see, when we change status to completed or failed, we need to stop listening. And here we can say bool listen equals false. In this case, we need to say listen equals true. And then we can say listening for objects equals true, or no, equals listen here. So we start listening, assuming. Oh, actually, we need to listen no matter what, I think. Yeah. So we just need to put that as true. Then also in onDestroy, we need to make sure we unsubscribe. All right, now I just need to implement these. So we're going to say int index equals target names dot, or this would be array dot index of. Dot unique name. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work because that's a array of unique name list entries. Let's go ahead and expose the unique name list entry. Surprised it didn't give me any kind of warning here when I was using the string, looking for it in the array of values. This is just targets index equals obj. Out. Then we need to do this thing again. And return. And then here we just say interactable. Right, then for the object removed, we still do those. We don't need this. We just say that equals null. All right. I am going to go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be back in just a second. All right, I am back. And I'd say we'll call this approximately the halfway point. I'll probably keep going for another hour and then think about hanging it up. But I've already, I think, made some decent progress today. I already had this objective system built, and again, this is not the good version of it, but I think that these basic objective markers are going to add a lot of user friendliness, I guess, so that people aren't just completely lost about what they should do. There will also be some tutorials, I think, but those are just going to be like a screen telling you the controls pretty much for the time being. All right. So when a object is removed, because it's null. All right. Now, and we need the update function. All right, so now what do I need to do here? I need to check if the status is, or if each interactable has finished the interaction. I guess I can just say has been interacted. I think that's a property. So let's just say if targets dot all t dot has, and let's see. Yeah, this is not the right I interactable. The base interactable has been interacted, but the I interactable, okay, just add it here. Just say bool has been interacted. Dot has been interacted equals true. So that will cover if any of them are null or haven't been interacted, then this thing fails. That is not going to cut it for the final version. We're going to need to listen for events, because if the interactables are different scenes, they might not all be loaded at the same time, so some of them will be null. But for now, I think this, again, is fine. That has been a big theme of today's day. For now, this works fine. Then we just want to say status equals completed, or what is it? Succeeded. All right. Is that all we need? Yeah. All right. All right, so objective 2, hack security. We're going to keep the same destination object that we enable, although I do need to move it. It needs to be on that thing. Let's see if I can just go ahead and replace this with an objective interact. And yeah, keep the events. So in this case, it's going to be what's the right thing to write here? How specific do we want to be? Just say hack security system. Alright, then the target names, we need to create a new one. So let's see. This guy, going to create a unique named object. Alright, so we have this thing now has the interactable level 1 security panel name. And we can then say objective 2, interactable level 1 security panel. Alright. Now, if that script works, that should be all the setup we need. I'm sure something won't work, but we'll give it a try. Alright, so let's, yeah, I guess that is maybe all I need to do. And we'll just do teleport security. Alright. Oh, you know what? Forgot that you need to manually add the objective to the mission. Alright. The objective successfully updated, and I'm seeing the objective indicator. Alright, I think that worked. Alright, next objective is going to be to complete that combat encounter. So, I need a new objective that is complete combat encounter, because I don't want it to just be like defeat these specific enemies. That'll be too much of a pain to hook up. Alright, so we're gonna make a new one. Objective combat encounter. We're going to need to steal some stuff from the interact. I'm going to actually just steal most of this, because we're going to need to do that unique name stuff again. And this is an objective. So instead of interactable, these are be combat encounter. This is, and we're just going to, for the default name, defeat enemies. Alright, we'll keep the listening for objects. Probably need a base class for that. So reset objective, new combat encounter. Name. Encounter. Dot. Alright, so I have for my combat encounter, how do we know whether it is completed or not? The state has current enemies, next wave enabled. Alright, so I think it's going to be next wave that we use. Let's see, so okay. So the combat encounter will complete. Well, when it completes, the next wave will be set to subsequent waves.length plus 1. So I'm just going to have a is completed. And also, let's not bother with an array here. I don't see why you would have an objective for multiple combat encounters. I mean, maybe, but I don't need it right now. Which makes it easier to just say target. No, that shouldn't be target, so it should just be target. And we don't need to do this. We need to invert these ifs. That, I think, is good. Those don't need to be changed. Yeah, that's not going to work anymore. Good. I'm just going to merge them. Yeah. All right. All right, I think that is what I need for that. Now for the encounter in here, this is in security. It's this second encounter. We need a unique name for it. Counter level 1, security 2. Alright, so there's our unique name for that. Then we just need to update the missions with another objective. For this one, we don't need an objective marker. Then this would be just let's just call it defeat enemies. Defeat security forces. We'll replace this with a target. And the name, oh, this is interact. That's not what I want. This should be objective combat encounter. All right. And this time I'm not going to forget to add it to my mission. All right, so I guess I'll test that one, and then I can probably add a few more because I should be good on the objective scripts with this one. I think that will cover what I need for now. All right, and we're just going to play through all the way. All right, so yeah, it looks like that worked. So my next objective is going to be make your way through here to storage. Make your way through storage. All right. Missions. Let's duplicate objective 1 so we have the right type. 4. Go to storage. This is going to be make your way through storage bay gamma. The destination for this guy is going to be I want it to be when you cross here. I kind of want it to be when you go through this trigger. Or no. I'll just make it here. I'll make the radius a little bit larger, maybe like 7. All right, it's 4:30, so I'm gonna plan to go for another half hour. Just a heads up, but yeah, I think good to keep going longer now. So that we'll do there, and then we're gonna need an objective to clear out the enemies in here. In the encounter in the storage room is... Does it have a unique name yet? Yes, it is Encounter Level 1 Storage. Actually, alright, this feels a little bit too hand-holdy to just have it take you here and then tell you to kill all the enemies, so going to change my mind about that one and instead move this one here. I think you will need an objective to open the door though, so let's see. So this is currently at 573, so if I put it like here. Alright, so we'll do like 23 as the radius for this one. So when you get around here, it'll tell you to then do this interaction. Alright, so then when you get here, it's going to tell you to open the panel. Open security. So we'll put this like here. And then this thing needs a unique name. Interactable level 1 storage panel. Actually, you know what? I don't like having to sort the names of these, so I'm just gonna not do that. Alright, open security, destination. Tractable, level 1, storage panel. And this is going to be open cargo airlock. So right when you complete that interaction, the HUD's going to hide, and then this guy is going to jump in. So then we are going to have a combat objective. So we're going to be defeat heavy. defeat. Well, this is just called UEC Heavy. Okay, I'll just copy that name for now. And then I don't think his encounter has a unique name yet. Going to be unique name list. Encounter level 1 storage boss. Encounter level 1 storage boss. Alright, so you have this. Next objective is going to be navigating the exterior. And we'll call it just Traverse Exterior Passage. And the destination. I want it to be when the ship shows up. That's going to be here, I think. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, okay, so. We're going to do real dest. And the destination is real dest. Alright, so we'll show the destination marker over here. But the objective is actually going to complete when you get here. Let's see, so 71, that's like, yeah, I'll do a radius of 7. Then when you get there, the objective is going to change to find a way to destroy the gunship. Or maybe, okay, actually, scratch what I said before. We're going to keep doing that. I'm going to increase the radius a bit, try like 10. And then we need to capture the tower. So that's going to be another interact objective. So let's see. So override. All right, we've got that. I'm gonna unload some of these regions. I don't need shaft. I don't need transition 1. I don't need security. Actually, I don't need anything other than exterior right now. All right, I think override cannon is good. That should work correctly. Next, we need to extend the cannon. And even though this is using interactables, well, maybe I can, yeah, okay, I think currently it's not going to work with my interactable script, but I think I can actually get it to work correctly. So let's see, how the 2-panel activation currently is going to just disable the panels, but what it actually should do is not disable them, but force them to complete. And I don't think I have that yet, but base interactable. Let's create a force complete. So interacting equals false, interactor equals false. Or maybe I just want complete interaction. I'm just going to do that. I'm not going to make that public. I'll just force complete. All right, so we complete those guys. Now I think if I do a interactable objective, I can just have both of those be. This is extend cannon, extend autocannon turret. And we need two interactables here. Interactable level 1, cannon extend 1. And this one is going to be X2. And then we need two destinations for this guy. That is pretty good, I think. Destination 2, we're going to copy the position. And just move it over here. And for the events, I need to add the destination 2 events. Right, extend cannon now. Next one is going to be move over here to complete the other one. Do another move objective. So this is reach bridge. Although the name of this is actually going to be extend second autocannon or override. Alright, so the destination for this, I am going to use a fake destination for this because destination, I want it to be, I want it to have the marker in here. Actually, yeah, I can just have that be there, and then the radius is just going to be all the way across there. So let's see, 15. The radius should actually be 25. Or, no, it needs to be. Like 26. This one might not work, right? I might have to hook up something with that trigger volume. Because as soon as you touch that trigger volume, you're going to be elsewhere. Right, that's all I need for that one. Then we just need to reach safety. And for this one, it's only going to be a range of 3. Alright. Now, I think that's all the objectives I need. So, let's add everything after defeat enemies to the objectives list. And I think it is actually time to try this out. Why is my camera rolled? I think that happens every once in a while. Your camera gets like a weird roll value, but I guess it doesn't matter that much for what I'm doing. Anyway, let's give this thing a try. And hopefully stuff works. This might be the last thing I do on stream today, because I am getting right up till 5. Alright, reach security checkpoint. Let's play in full screen. Probably need to extend the range of that one a little bit. But anyway. Now we need to hack the security system. Need to do something with this area. It's a little confusing that I have this here and there's just nothing up there. Whatever. Since we have the objective markers, at least you know where you're supposed to go for the game. Alright, so open cargo airlock. Now, this might be a little bit weird because I've made it here so you actually need to defeat all these enemies before you can progress. I don't honestly know if it should be that way or if I should let you run past the enemies. But yeah, it isn't super clear from the objective that you do need to defeat all these enemies. Oh, alright, the particle system didn't play. I'll have to fix that at some point. Alright, probably maybe I should just make the HUD not display at all during that cutscene. Oh, okay. So something got messed up here. The door doesn't open up again. Let's see. Did I get any exceptions? Is that what happened? No. All right. It is about 5, and I actually have something at 5, so I do have to leave at 5 today. But yeah, I will. It seems like it's working pretty well. So yeah, not bad for my horrible hacky objective system. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. I will go ahead and fix those bugs and make sure that those objectives are working pretty soon, within the next couple days probably. And then yeah, I'll see what next week has in store. I might not be streaming next week. I think I might actually be busy next weekend, so I'll have to see. But anyway, I'll be back the following weekend. So yeah, anyway, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, I will see you soon. Goodbye.